Hey everybody, I want to give a shout out to my channel members. Thank you to Galaxy Fan and Adam Ledwood for your support on the channel. Now let's get right into the video. How did the future in this timeline play out compared to the original? What did future Goten face before coming back to warn the Z Fighters of the android threat? Find out all of this and more on the fifth part of What If the Sagas Were Reversed. Unlike in the last episode, we join our Z Fighters continuing their lives with some moderate training after the defeat of Majin Buu, with characters like Goku spending time in the land of Kais and Gohan growing up going to school. That was until one year, out of nowhere, two androids appeared in West City, destroying it in minutes. Though the Z Fighters were not the first ones on the scene, with Piccolo trying to take on the androids himself. Kami in his mind yells out to wait until the Z Fighters arrive before he gets himself killed. Piccolo's hubris is too strong though, as he tries to take on the androids first, with him dying in the process. The Z Fighters appear on the scene, shocked by the sheer destruction. Along with that, they see that Piccolo died, which means Kami and the Dragonballs are no longer going to help them. They start to face off against the androids, but they are no match for them, with stronger fighters like Goku and Tien not being able to deal much damage while protecting the others. This is until there are only three of the Z Fighters left. Goku, Gohan, and Krillin are the last chance for humanity, with them only lasting this long due to their synergy. Goku tells Krillin to take Gohan and run. He'll keep the androids busy long enough for them to get away. That isn't until one of the androids waves their finger back and forth saying, we can't be having that, as the beam heads straight towards Gohan. At the last moment though, Krillin jumps in front of his people, saving his life. The two of them are frozen in shock at the death of their best friend and mentor. That is when both of their bodies start to convulse, with their hair standing on end, becoming yellow, with them both becoming Super Saiyans yelling out. This is able to have them on a much more even playing field against the androids. Their battle continues on into the night with a full moon coming into sight. With that, Gohan lands down on the ground, with him starting to transform once again. Goku is confused, wondering if Gohan got too badly damaged, with him looking over to him. That is until he sees Gohan becoming a large golden ape. Gohan goes onto a rampage, with him destroying the androids and starting to demolish the Earth itself. Goku is surprised by the sheer strength of this transformation, that he hears a voice in his head telling him that he has to go for the tail. King Kai, along with the other Z Fighters, are watching in Otherworld and tell Goku of the weakness of the Great Ape and what happened to Gohan. Goku tries to take off his son's tail, but Gohan still has an amazing speed in this Great Ape form. Though Goku, using his Kai ability, is able to fire and take off Gohan's tail. Though as he does so, he feels a sharp pain in his chest with the stress of the transformation and the fight with Great Ape Golden Gohan, and the androids having too much of an effect on his body, and the heart virus takes over. Gohan wakes up to the sight of a huge wasteland and his father on the ground. He rushes over to his father, with him saying that he is the only one who survived the attack. Though he doesn't understand what happened, him and his father had just transformed, and then his mind goes blank. He picks up his father's body and flies back home to Mount Paozu. Him and his mother mourn the death of Goku, with the kid Goten not understanding what's going on. We then switch to the POV of a teenage Goten, with him flying down in a new West City at Capsule Corp. He enters to see two different spaceships, with him being told of the two different plans Bulma and Gohan have come up with. Bulma explains that she, along with Master Roshi, will travel to Namek with the help of King Kai to ask them if they can use their Dragon Balls, while Goten will go back in the time machine to see if he can stop this from happening in the first place. Goten asks why Gohan isn't going on either of their missions, with Gohan telling him he has to stay on planet to protect it. Goten scoffs at his older brother, and he heads inside the time machine, where Bulma comes in to explain the controls. Before she leaves though, she tells Goten to not be so hard on Gohan. He just feels responsible for all those who've died, and along with being the new protector of Earth after taking his father's place. Goten says he wishes he knew more about his father than just what her and Chi-Chi have told him, before manning the controls. Bulma waves him goodbye as Goten travels back to the past. This is where we left off on the last episode, with Goten showing Goku Super Saiyan and warning him of the threat of the androids. Goku pats Goten on the back, saying he has become such a strong fighter before Goten leaves Back to the Future. Goten is surprised by how their father is nothing like Gohan in the future, wondering what must have happened to him. Now back in the main timeline, we rejoin the Z Fighters on the lookout, where Goku informs everyone on the information Goten has told him. Much like in the main timeline, we have the Z-Fighters discuss if they should go find the androids now and take them out before the day, with each of the Z-Fighters deciding on how they will train in the 3 years since they decide just to wait. Starting off with the Earthlings, Tien wants to continue his adventures in Otherworld, asking Kami if he can convince Yema to allow Yamcha to tag along. Though it does take some convincing, they are allowed to spend some more time in Otherworld training with some of the dead fighters learning new abilities. As for Goku, he thinks that after hearing that him and Gohan were the main fighters, he wants to train with Gohan and Krillin. He decides to take them to the land of Kai since it was such a great training area for him during the Buu arc. Shin and Kibito are surprised to see them, then they are informed on what's going on by Goku. Shin and Kibito are frozen in shock, with Shin sending Kibito inside to go collect something. He comes back out with a small box, opening it to reveal a set of rings. Goku asks what Shin is doing with all these rings, where he is told that these are the rings of time, with a new one being in the box since the last they checked. That being due to the time traveling and Goten committing a galactic crime. Krillin is surprised by the thought of galactic crimes, asking what's going to happen to them. Shin tells them that they must not travel again due to the higher-ups watching them now, with the group being surprised that there are even more higher-ups than Shin in the universe. Goku asks what's the purpose of the rings if they are only created by accident. Shin tells him that they're actually used in the training of Kais when learning about civilization and the development of the universe. After that, Goku asks them if it's cool that they all train on this planet for a while for the incoming threat, with Shin agreeing, saying that it's life or death for his pupil, with him also being interested in this new power that his future son has shown them. Finally, back on the lookout, Kami recalls all the information that Goku told him, remembering that him and the Dragon Balls were considered useless due to the death of his other half, with him deciding to get in contact with Piccolo, telling him to meet him on the lookout. Piccolo arrives where he is told about the threat of the androids, hearing about how he was easily defeated by them in the future. At first he doesn't believe it before seeing how much further the Z-Fighters have gone beyond him since the end of the Buu saga. Kami tells him that it is best for the planet that the Dragon Balls be protected, giving Piccolo the option to train and become a better person. Piccolo declines training with Kami, saying that he is no stronger than him, but Kami never said about training with this planet's guardian. Shortly after, Goku arrives back on the lookout, being called by Kami to help bring Piccolo to his training location. Kami thinks that the best way for Piccolo to turn over a new leaf is to be brought back to their home planet. Goku smiles while greeting Piccolo, asking if he is ready before placing a hand on his shoulder. He then Kais them both to planet Namek, where Goku talks to the new Elder Mori, introducing him to Piccolo. Elder Mori sees the darkness in Piccolo, telling him that they are only allowing him on the planet due to the recommendation of both Kami and the Supreme Kai, that while he is on this planet, he will respect their customs and train with Nail. Piccolo scoffs, thinking that these pacifists can't offer him anything. That is before Nail walks up, asking if Piccolo would like to have a small sparring match. Nail and Piccolo square off, with Nail vanishing behind Piccolo, with him being barely able to dodge the hit that comes from the warrior Namekian. Piccolo tries to go on the offensive, testing out his new abilities, launching several small key orbs all around Nail. He then does a clapping motion, sending all the balls around Nail, screaming out Hell's Own Grenade, with a large cloud of smoke appearing, with many of the Namekians looking shocked, but not Elder Mori. Piccolo, thinking he has won, looks towards the crowd, smiling before being knocked out to the ground. Nail appears behind him, with his clothes partially damaged but nothing else. He picks up Piccolo and tells Elder Mori that he will watch over this one before heading off. As Piccolo is knocked out, he thinks of how far behind he has gotten compared to those like Goku he used to dream of taking on. Maybe his ways of living is the reason he has fallen so far behind them. Goku thanks Nail and Elder Mori for their help before telling them he'll come back in a few years. He then Kais back to the land of Kais, where he sees Krillin and Gohan sparring, showing off their growth to Shin and Kibito. He thinks about the ability that Goten showed him with the weird yellow hair form. He smiles before saying it's time to get to work. With all the Z-Fighters finding their own way to prepare for the android threat, how will the new android saga go? How will the information gathered during the Buu saga and the introduction of a new time traveler affect the timeline? Find out all this and more on the next part of What If the Sagas Were Reversed. I want to thank y'all for watching this video, and if you liked it, make sure to let me know by leaving a like on the video and leaving a comment down below. Also, if you'd like to get a shout out in these videos early, make sure to check out the join button down below. I'll see you all in the next episode, and hope you have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.